Om Shanti, everyone. A very, very warm welcome. Today we have Baba's very young and energetic Seva Bhavi child, BK Dr. Saurabh Gupta, who's there with us. So let me share and introduce a bit about Saurabh. So Saurabh has been having a spiritual inclination to learn about life, about the purpose of life and the real meaning since childhood. And to understand this and to quench his deep thirst, he reached Mount Abu in 2002 and did the Rajyoga meditation and has been there ever since then. He's been growing, learning, and contributing. Saurabh completed his BTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and his spiritual journey also continued after that. And then he went to the US in 2006 for higher studies. And there he did his PhD in mechanical engineering from the University of Michigan. And right now, he currently works as a research scientist in the field of internal combustion engines in Indianapolis. And Saurabh has been a core team member with various Brahma Kumari international youth projects. And he has been representing us at the United Nations in various programs. And one of them is 7 billion acts of goodness and spotlight values, yogis linking living lights, and various other programs. He facilitates several meditation retreats for young adults and working professionals at Peace Village at and retreat that is there in New York. And he's also a youth coordinator in the International Youth Forum of Brahma Kumaris. And he coordinates with doing the services and activities of Brahma Kumaris at Indianapolis, USA. So that is a brief description that I could give to introduce Saurabh Bhai. Of course, you can all see his young, bubbly, and energetic face on the screen right now. And we will look forward to hear his learnings today and his sharings, his journey. And the topic that he's going to speak on is Avyakt Murli, the 7 steps of spiritual consciousness. We shall be having some learnings from him, and after that, we'll also have a question answer session where he will be he'll be sharing his understanding about life. Yes, Saurabh Bhaiji, over to you.
Thank you, Vimish Bhaiji. Thank you so much for your kind introduction, and thank you so much for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be with all of you this morning, India time. So good morning to all my dear brothers and sisters. And I see some of familiar names, so a special good morning to those. I spent a few months in Pune, and I had lovely memories of being there in 2018, and then I came in 2019 and 2020 also for a few days. But just feels like, a home away from home. And yeah, Shivani Ben and others, I see Datta Bhai and others, everyone, a very good morning, Abhijit Bhai. So can you hear me okay, Bhai? Everyone is...
Yes, perfectly fine, Saurabh Bhai.
Okay. So thanks for this opportunity to really reflect on, the Brahmin life and the role that Avyakt Murli has played for me. I remember the very first time in 2002, as Imish Bhai was saying in his introduction. By the way, Bhaiji, one word that I really liked was, I think I used it, I heard it for the first time. They said Seva Bhavi. I thought it's such a beautiful word rather than Seva Dhari, to have this word Seva Bhavi, because that's what it's all about, to have this bhavna. I'm still learning, but this word is beautiful. So I'll keep it in my dictionary. So thank you for that addition. So I remember in 2002, when I was first in Madhuban, I hadn't done the course. I just was in my teenage years, and my parents had come into Gyan that time, and then they took me to Madhuban to meet Baba. And this was December 2002, I believe 15th of December. And I remember I was just sitting there in the gathering, and I was just looking at Baba, and each word that Baba spoke, I didn't understand the details or the depth of it. But every word that Baba spoke, it was just going right into the heart. It was just the feeling that, this is someone who I know, whom I know. Somewhere I know, but now I'm meeting him again. And that was kind of my spiritual birth and my deep connection with Baba. I remember that I never cried in my life, but then the tears were just rolling down as if each word Baba was speaking, something was happening inside me. I don't know what was happening. And I'm sure many of us, and pretty much all of us, have had this experience meeting Baba or even listening to Baba's Murlis. And I really felt that my Brahmin birth was through Baba's Avyakt Murli. And over the years, as I grew up in Brahmin life, I realized that my main strength has been, Murlis, and especially the Avyakt Murlis. I remember when I had moved to US in 2006, here, centers are far apart and not very close. So we don't go every day to the center, but generally once, every weekend on Sunday mornings is when we generally get together. And I would just look forward to that time to just go there and sit off a book to Baba, be in that zone and just listen to Baba's words, listen to Baba's Murli. And I realized, I just felt that just by listening to Baba's Murli, my mind was just getting transported to Baba, and just the soul was filled with that energy that would sustain me for the entire week. Then every day we would listen to, online, Zoom you have in India now, but we had our telephone lines back then also because we couldn't meet face to face. But then that just recharged me, completely. And I realized that that was such a an integral part of my life. And then I realized that as I moved to a different city for, a different role and for my work, then I realized that I had chance to, sometimes read the Murli. And I realized that as I was reading Baba's Avyakt Murli, the realization was that I'm just listening. I'm not reading, I'm listening. Baba is reading, I'm with Baba. And it's just Baba is all, just with me. And just that experience of, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour has been so enriching. That has been the oxygen of my Brahmin life. And I felt that just through the Murli, everything that Baba is, the soul begins to feel, the soul begins to just absorb everything of Baba. And for me, even meditation or yoga is, just when the soul is completely absorbed in Baba's Murli, Baba's versions, and then when we sit in silence for even a few minutes, that's when I've had some of my best yoga experiences. I've really felt that Baba is just literally with me and just looking at me, just very close connection with Baba. Now Baba uses three words. I will say Baba, Murli, and Madhuban. So we recognize Baba, remember Baba, and through Murli, we come very close to Baba. And then Madhuban. Right now, we are sitting, all are sitting in Pandav Bhavan. Right? Pandav Bhavan, where we are having this little chit chat about Baba and Baba's Murli. So over the years, I've realized that there are certain steps. And as we all know, that in Brahmin life, our relationship with Baba is we kind of deepen our relationship with Baba through the Murli. And the way we relate to the Murli actually also deepens as we grow in our Brahmin journey. So this thought had come up recently, I think, in one of our sessions earlier this year about the 7 steps of spiritual consciousness, meaning the 7 ways or 7 aspects with which we relate to Baba, Baba relates to us, and we grow in our spiritual life. So the thought was we can maybe discuss a little bit on those thoughts, and maybe we can then have some discussion, chit chat, and feel free to ask questions and share your thoughts as well. So let me share a few slides. Vimishpai, can you see the slides?
Yes, we can see the slides.
Yes,
right. We can see the slides.
Okay. So Avyakt Murli, the 7 steps of spiritual consciousness. So one thing that just by looking into Baba's eyes, Baba transports us into his world, isn't it? So these 7 steps, they start when we actually come to Baba and recognize Baba, and Baba recognizes us as well. And then these steps then end with when we actually have finished our journey. And Baba says it's about being karmathit. So let's begin. Baba talks about big words. When we say big words, really mean, when Baba talks about you are a soul, you're sitting on God's heart throne. Baba says, having a loving intellect. Baba says, remember me alone. Every Avyakt Murli. These days Baba has been talking a lot about heart and love and stopping the leakage. But all of these are very big words. And to really grasp the meaning, the bhavna, the bhav, the intention, and the perspective of Baba, it needs a subtle and refined intellect. So I need to make complete sense of them. So one thing that I've realized in these years is just to make complete sense of Baba's words, Baba's versions, Baba's Murli, is the real effort that actually nourishes the soul. Just to understand what Baba really means, to see it from his perspective. So what happens otherwise? I lose the essence and power, and I'm not always able to feel Baba's magic. Initially, we come to Baba, we feel a lot of Baba's magic. But as it becomes a routine, as it becomes a part of our life, day-to-day life, that magic element is not always felt, like on a day-to-day basis, for me. Sometimes it is felt, but sometimes it may not be as regular as I would like to. The spiritual life can then become trivial for me. And so for my spiritual life to be very enriching, very sustaining, it needs me to be filled with the essence and the power of Baba's words. I remember years back, I was listening to one of the classes by Brother Anthony, and one thing stayed with me. And he was saying to abstain from formula thinking. What is formula thinking? Formula thinking is that, okay, anything comes, okay, remember Baba. Anything comes, Manmana Baba. Anything comes, drama. That is true. These words are there, but really grasp the feeling, the bhavna, the essence of it. So as I'm using these words, but to not just use these words as a mantra, for example, but to actually stabilize in that consciousness, in that awareness. So these steps allow me to hold the intention with which Baba is speaking to me. So let us begin. So we say the first step. The first step, we'll say, is accepting. Accepting. Manna. Accepting. Manna, pehchanna, recognizing. We all come to Baba and we all accept Baba. We accept Baba's love. We accept ourselves as a spiritual being, even though we may not know everything about the soul. There's something that clicks and we feel, this is it for me. It could be during the course, it could be visiting Baba's home, visiting Madhuban, it could be through the instrument, it could be even through Brahma Bhojan, it could be through various ways. But this accepting I am a soul, I am a soul. Baba has found me after 5,000 years. I had lost myself and Baba has found me. Accepting this. This is God's knowledge. This is not just any positive thinking course. This is not just any simple spiritual course, but this is God's knowledge. God's knowledge for me. God has come for me. I'm able to accept this is God's knowledge for my transformation. Not for anyone else's transformation, but for my transformation. You know, I was listening to Jagdish Bhai's class once, and he very beautifully said that, you know, on the path of devotion, everyone would read Gita. They would say, Krishna told Arjuna that Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Narak ke dwar hai. All the vices, lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego are the door to hell. And they would listen religiously, and then after they go to their normal life, they would still, you know, entertain the thoughts and sanskars of vices. So someone once asked that you read Gita every day, but then how come, you know, you're still engaging in these vices? They said, you know, God, Sri Krishna, them told Arjuna. He didn't tell me. So Gita is for Arjuna, not for me. So the moment this intention I lose, that this knowledge is only for me. It's not for anybody else. It's not for me to, you know, share with anybody else. Yeah, that comes later. You know, when Baba creates, you know, that opportunity to share, Baba shares. But this knowledge is only for my transformation. I'm committed to my inner journey. I accept that I am here to change. This is what I accept. This is the first step that I take. So when I listen to the Murli, to listen in this consciousness, you know, the 7 steps of consciousness, this is the first consciousness. I'm listening as a soul. God, the Supreme Soul, is talking to me. He has found me. I'd forgotten Baba for 5,000 years. Now Baba has come to awaken me, to enlighten me, to make me belong to him again, to give me his inheritance. And although I'm sitting in a class, Although I'm sitting in a large gathering, but this each and every word of Baba is only for me, not for anyone else. And even if I'm reading the Murli, I'm reading it just to awaken myself, just to, the intention is this acceptance is the first step. And I realize it's very important. And as you see that as we go into the different steps, it's more like a pyramid, but this forms the base. So every day when we sit in meditation before Murli, to just have this consciousness. I'm so delighted that, this is such a beautiful group of Baba's effort-making children. And I've given this priority to Avyakt Murli and revision of that on a daily basis. This is incredible. So this is, forming the base, accepting. After accepting, then the next step we say is understanding, samajhna. Baba ko pehchanna, janna, manna, to accept myself in Baba. And then the next step is to understand. Generally in Baba's Murli, Baba will say something and I will say, Samjha, Samjha. Baba will ask, Samjha, did you understand? And Jagdish Bhai, I'm sure many of you would have heard, in May we were revising his classes, and we all say, yes, Baba, Samjha. We all raise our hands. But he said, no, we didn't understand. Otherwise, Baba wouldn't say Samjha. So what Baba wants us to understand, not just from our perspective that I have gotten some ideas, some understand, but what to understand? To understand Baba's perspective. I now understand Baba's perspective. Baba, who is beyond this drama, who lives in Paramdham, and how he thinks, how he feels. What is his outlook? That is what Baba is sharing with me. Murli is giving life to Baba's personality for me. So the more I understand Baba's perspective, I can understand and make sense and analyze, churn, remember, and relate to Baba's Murli and the points of the Murli. So much. And when my acceptance has happened, so again, these steps follow each other. And understanding these steps and appreciating it allows me to actually concentrate and focus on every step. Yeah. Let me share just one story here, one instance here. So there were two friends. One friend was on top of a roof of a building, and the other friend was down below on the road. And the friend who was on the top, he said, why don't you come up? Come spend some time. Come up here with me. And so this friend who was in the road, he started to jump, but jumping wouldn't help, right? Because he couldn't just jump and reach there. So, but then once he was shown the stairs, then he could take one step, second step, third step, and he reached. So these are those steps. So understanding. So now I understand. मैंने समझा Baba की Murli. I'm understanding Baba's words. And so in this consciousness, everything that Baba says, I'm able to get the essence completely. This is the second step of understanding. The third step is he says experimenting. Prayog. say prayog, experimenting. And this step is where I have now understood Baba's Murli, but now I am experimenting with it in my life on the field of seva, experimenting, prayog karna. So what happens is once I've understood the gist of Baba's Murli, then I begin to experiment. So every scene of the drama becomes an opportunity for me to experiment with knowledge, virtues, and powers. And as we used to do experiments in our science days, it's okay to fail, but it's important to learn the lesson. And in this experimentation, I am my own teacher, meaning I learn from my mistakes. So Baba says, to use different powers, tolerance and patience, and we're all experienced in this, that the moment we actually surrender to Baba and allow Baba's energy to work, and I experiment with it in my day-to-day life, and especially in interacting with other souls. This is very helpful. Baba gives practical methods and strategies to implement Gyan in my daily life. And he also shares various ways on how to tackle the variety of sanskars and harmonize sanskars with those whom I'm living, with those whom I'm interacting, and even to deal with my own sanskars. So they say if you don't use it, you lose it. So what I've understood, if I don't use it, if I don't experiment with it, I will lose it. And so in this level of consciousness, then I relate to Baba's Murli to see how can I experiment. What are the ways in which Baba is asking me to experiment with his Gyan, to experiment with his love. And this happens. And then what happens is, then life, every scene of the life becomes my, I look forward to it, because then I'm looking at it in order to learn something from it. So we say learning versus earning. So my attitude becomes of learning, not of earning, means not of earning respect or of earning something from someone, but of learning something from the same. Experimenting. So this creates a lot of enthusiasm. And once I've experimented, I have then made that point of knowledge my own. So this morning, so I'm at Peace Village, we're having a beautiful picnic. And so we were looking for a grill to roast the corns. And so my duty was to kind of gather that thing together, the furnace on which to roast. But the thing was that the grill was missing and no one was able to find it. And we were looking since yesterday evening, we were not able to find it. And I remember, like just before the picnic had to begin, and I was like, Baba, it's your picnic, and you have said in today's Murli, Preet Buddhi, so I'm just remembering you. I'm not worrying about anything. And I mean, I'm just sharing my experience, but I'm sure every one of us have similar experiences. And I was just walking, and suddenly my eyes I was walking outside, and suddenly my eyes stopped somewhere, and that's where the grill was. And we were able to then use the grill and everything. But just to experiment. So what happens when we experiment? I feel Baba's life energy with me. And then every point, so then every day, and especially in the Avyakt Murlis, I'm able to experiment with Baba's versions. So I don't lose. Acha. After experimenting, then the fourth step is then I experience Anubhav. Anubhav. So then my experience is based on my own learning. They say this is an experienced person. even at work, I can say this person has this much of experience, because as we experiment, we begin to experience. So what do I then experience? I experience Baba and my eternal sanskars. I listen to Murli through the eye of experience. When Baba is speaking, I feel that he's talking about my experience. So I'm able to relate to Baba through that experience. Then every day's Murli becomes means for me to validate my experiments and then experience this living relationship with Baba. And so in this level of consciousness, I am then able to scan the Murli to experience Baba. Accepting, understanding, experimenting, and experiencing. And in Hindi they say, जहां ना पहुंचे रवि वहां पहुंचे कवि, और जहां ना पहुंचे कवि वहां पहुंचे अनुभवी. Means where the sun doesn't go, a poet goes, and a poet doesn't go, the one whose experience goes. So then the idea of and the reason why Papa is sharing his gyan with me is for me to then come to this level of experiencing. And then the fifth step after the experienced is what we call as knowing, jhana. Sometimes Papa will say, Jnani tu Atma. Papa will say, knowledgeable soul. It means I know something from a deep sense of the depth of understanding within. So I really lived and I feel Baba. So I know. And at this level, so it's not just knowledge, but it has become wisdom. That's why I know we look forward to dadis and dadis of seniors classes. We say jewels of wisdom, we say pearls of wisdom, because they have actually experimented, experienced, and they're also sharing from that wisdom. So knowledge becomes wisdom. I know Baba. This is where I know Baba. I know the subtle threads of Murli. Subtle threads. Especially now that Murli Baba will take a point and then go into the depths and subtleties. And I read in between the lines. This capacity develops to read in between the lines. Sometimes there's one line which is kind of the key that holds everything together, and I'm sure all of us are experienced in this. I know what Baba means. I can completely see his perspective. This is knowing, jhana. So I begin to know Baba through this process. So when we say that Baba ka parichay dena hai, to give Baba's introduction. So parichay is not just about, of course, initially through the course, it's about creating understanding and through the knowledge. But then here, it's Baba's introduction through knowing. And this is where the subtlety of vibrations become active. Many times we say, do you know this person? Do you know them? We say, I've met them, but I don't know them that well. But to know someone, so to know Baba through this process of experiencing Baba through experimenting. So the first and the second steps are more like theory. And the third, fourth, and fifth are more like practical. And this is where Baba has given us the family. Baba has created yajna. Even our lokik seva, anything that is, it is all for us to grow. And steps 3, 4, and 5 are for us. So the other day I was just listening to Murli, and Murli got done. And this feeling was, it's not the Murli is done, but now it is beginning now. Because now my experiments have to begin. I have to use Baba's Murli throughout the day. So throughout the day, I can get more and more newer experiences. And then I know Baba in this way. Sometimes Baba says, Bab teacher, Sadguru, different relationships, like yesterday Baba said. But to feel these different relationships, it's not just a conceptual understanding, but to really feel, I feel Baba is my dad, and so I am Baba's obedient child, because I'm using Baba in that way, as a karma yogi. So here our karma yogi life becomes very important. And today we were listening to a very nice class by Mohammed Didi, and she was sharing how to be karmatit through karma yoga. And karma yoga is this: I experiment, I experience, I know. So my intention is, my goal is to know Baba, not to know anyone else. I'm not here to know who is thinking what is someone else's opinion, or how they are, what they think about. No. My intention is to know Baba, is to come closer to Baba. That's what I realized in my own journey as well. If I keep this intention very firm, that I'm here to come closer and closer to Baba, to know Baba, and it's like Baba becomes available for me. Baba becomes available for me. And so through these gatherings, and when we come together, the Brahmin family, it's all to come closer and closer to Baba. So right now, let's just take a moment and invite Baba in our midst. Just feel Baba is right there with me in this gathering. And we all have this pure intention to just come closer and closer to you, Baba. So after we souls come to know Baba through different experiences, then it's like we have graduated to a different level where we are now becoming. When I came to Baba and I would hear words like "Bacche ye bano, bacche aise bano, pavitra bano, yogi bano, jnani bano, meethe bano." I used to think, but how do I become it? I don't want to just repeat your words, but how do I become it? But then later, just this process allows me to become it. So become is banana. So now, in this level now, what happens is I'm soul conscious. So it's like, because I know Baba, and through Baba, I know myself more and more. That's why soul consciousness in itself is not yoga, because I cannot just intellectually know myself. I need Baba. So the more I'm coming closer to Baba by knowing him personally, then Baba allows me to know myself. And so that soul consciousness in this stage of becoming, I experience from time to time. But then in that process, there is this whole baggage of the sanskars of 63 births that I have to deal with. because that's all there. That's all there. So I have to be a good warrior now. And then I am able to scan Baba's Murli to understand how to be a warrior, how to fight with Maya. Like the other day, Baba was saying, this is a boxing. This is a boxing match. One recent realizations, I think it was this last Monday, that just to feel that this life is a Zoom call. This life is a Zoom call, and drama is the host. We are all guests, right? We souls are actors. We have entered here. We are all participants, but we know that there is a leave button, and so I am free to leave. So the moment I feel things are getting intense, or I'm coming into the feeling, or I'm getting into the emotion of something in a scene, what I do, I press the leave button. I press the leave button and I become invisible, and I go to Baba, and I'm with Baba. So it's like fighting with Maya. Practical Baba talks about so many ways to fight with Maya. This is a boxing match. We have to gain victory over Maya. And so in becoming, this is a very beautiful, beautiful experience to become something, to become a deity, and ultimately is to become myself. Right? But then how to fight with my sanskars of the other day, I was talking about laziness and how to fight laziness. Recently, Baba was talking about how to stop leakage, how to plug the different holes. Amazing. And then I begin to scan the Murli for that. Right? So this is the level of consciousness, becoming. And the last, we say the seventh step is what we say is then the being. So in being, what happens is, being is the final stage where the soul, my home, our home beyond this physical world, Baba, they're a natural experience. It's not a concept, it's not knowledge, it's no longer an experiment even. But I am it. I am a soul, naturally. I live in my Paramdham naturally. I am with Baba naturally. I'm close to now becoming Karmatit. And then the Murli is my life. Then Murli is, I just cling to Murli. I cling to Baba. I, the soul, I feel, oh, Baba. And Baba is feeding me with his love, with his power, with his knowledge through the Murli. And that's why now, I realize when we listen to Dadis speaking the Murli. And I was so fortunate that in my early Brahmin days, Dadi Prakashmani would be there to read the Murli in Madhuban, and something magical would happen. And I'm sure many of us have experienced even now through our seniors, because they are in that state of being when they are reading. So in the being, then what happens is Baba becomes activated. Baba's energy, Baba becomes live, like we are live streaming this session. No? And so Murli is a live stream from Baba. Baba's energy, Baba's vibrations. It's like a live stream of Baba's love. A live stream of Baba's love. This is what the being is. This is what the being feels. So these different steps. And so in summary, what we say is the first and the second is theory. And the third, fourth, fifth are practical. And the sixth and seventh are embodiment, Swarup. Right? So we say theory, practical, embodiment. even at, that's where as kids, right, we used to learn something in science in theory, then we would apply it in practice, experiment with it, and then we learn the details, and and then we become scientists or engineers, right? And so this is what this gradation is, right? Yeah. Another way to look at it is, we say awareness, realization, and transformation. We say ARNT, the art of a yogi life, the art of being a Brahmin, a true Brahmin. Awareness, I work on my awareness, right? Through accepting and understanding, I work on then the realization through my own personal experiments. I know Baba in my own personal way. And then transformation. And then I become it and I am it. And this is a nice way to look at it is, so when we begin, it's like we don't know that we don't know. We don't know that because it was like Maya had made us unconscious completely. So we didn't know that I don't know. And after understanding that, we know that we don't know. We know that we don't know about ourselves, about Baba completely. But when I do my personal experiments, experience and knowing, now I know. So there are two quantum jumps here. Right? So here, we're all pretty much, we have accepted, understood, and pretty much all of us, many of us are in this stage. But there are two quantum leaps here, right? So we know that we don't know, and here we know, right, after this. And at the end, we are. I am. And
जितना जल्दी कर लो लोग का ना ना नहाऊंगी जा.
another important way Baba talks about is this tyag. How do I progress on my journey is through tyag. So gross renunciation and subtle renunciation. So once I have done gross renunciation, that's why Baba says त्याग किया हमने अपनी पुरानी बातों का. And त्याग means I am ready to let go of my past and then begin to experiment. So I'm ready with gross. I've done the gross renunciations. I'm ready to experiment, experience, no? And then at this level, then I do subtle renunciation. Subtle renunciation is how I use my body, how I use my organs, what kind of thoughts I really entertain, choose to.
I guess Saurabh has got disconnected. He will log in back.
I think I'm sorry we lost the internet here for a while. Ben, are you able to see me now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you make me co-host again? I'll just share the remaining few slides. So here is when the BK sees the soul through the experiment. I begin to be aware of the soul. But then here where the game shifts is when the soul sees the BK. Means I, the soul, I have now completely awakened. And I'm able to see everything from Baba's perspective in a natural way. In a natural way. So some points to remember, I just go through these, some of the points. Avyakt Murli is a mirror for me to know where I am in my spiritual efforts. Baba refers to all these steps in the Murli. So in every Murli, all these 7 steps are there. And I can then revise and relate to the Murli through these steps. Second, Brahma Baba is a role model who has followed every step and created this path for us to reach up at that step. So that's why Brahma Baba, we didn't have Avyakt Murlis during Brahma Baba's Sakha days. But Brahma Baba, through his efforts, he has created a roadmap for us and is now relating to us as Bab Dada, Shiv Baba, and Brahma Baba combined for us to reach a perfect stage. And this is interesting that understanding these steps allows me not to be ashamed. You know, sometimes initially I used to feel at times that Baba says, child, be this, but I know I am not there. But understand where I am and what progress I need to make now. Where is it that I need to work? This is important for me. Because if my understanding is not happening, then I need to work on accepting. If my experimenting is not happening, then I need to work on understanding. Right? If I am not becoming, then I have to test my knowing. Right? So it's like whatever step I am at currently, I need to pay full attention there. And then the next step automatically emerges. If I have not worked on my current step, I can't experience the next step. As I move forward through the various steps, my relationship with the Murli also evolves. How I listen to the Murli is a mile marker of my progress. So the way I relate to the Murli, is it through accepting, understanding, experimenting, experiencing, knowing, becoming, or being? Then that's how I know I'm moving forward in my Brahmin journey. And also, my relationship with Baba's service also grows. It gets enhanced as I move forward through these various steps. Because then, when Baba talks about Mansa Seva, for example, then if I have not become, and if I'm not operating from that transformed state, then I cannot help Baba in Mansa Seva. And so, Vacha Seva, Karmana Seva, and then Mansa Seva. So, like my relationship with service also changes. And my speed of efforts lasts so fast depends on how fast I reach the being stage. So this is my inner work. It all depends on my inner work. How fast I'm able to reach my being stage. The last stage, the final stage. So when Baba says last, so fast, so first, it's basically about this. How am I able to reach? So I focus on the current step, wherever I am. I know my journey, and it changes from time to time. And just be myself with a deep intention of reaching my aim. And every step, what I have to do is trust. I have to trust. Trust the process. It is happening. It is working. Even if I may not be able to see the results, it is working. Let go. I have to let go. Tyag. Even if, if I'm moving forward, it means I'm ready to let go. And then let God. I trust, I let go, and I let God. Let us just take a moment and let God. We let Baba in. We let Baba just come and present. And we allow Baba to guide us on our road to perfection, where our guide is Baba's Murli. Baba's Murli is really the railing through which I'm able to march and get closer to my aim. My aim is to experience Baba, to experience myself, my home, constantly, to be in reality all the time. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family, and especially Vimish Pai, Rakhi Ben, all the angels. Thank you.
We just didn't want you to stop, Saurabh. We just wanted you to just go on and on. But yes, we shall be deepening this further, and we'll be having more of your services. And we'll just take a moment to kind of go back to the session of whatever you've shared in silence. And if in case any sisters and brothers, we are overshooting the time, but it wouldn't be fair if I don't give a chance to the sisters and brothers to interact with you. So we'll take a few more minutes as an extension if it works for you, Saurabh. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just take a moment in silence and then we'll open for question and answers. Om Shanti. So whoever would like to share something or ask any questions, you can unmute yourself and do that.
Om Shanti, wonderful session. And my humble, ardent, good wishes are for every one of us starts beginning enjoying first step to the last step of becoming being. So that's the ultimate. We have gone through the wonderful energy of Baba and beautiful Baba's heart, and everything becomes meaningful if from the one step towards the last step and the celestial bliss all through the life journey. Om Shanti. Sincere thanks.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Saurabh, Om Shanti. It is so beautifully explained. And while you were talking, the way you were speaking, I could see Baba's energy in you. Like, you're really blessed. And thank you for sharing this big experience. And especially the last slide, every step, of course, was very, very relevant. But the last slide, trust, let go, let God. It's so deep. I could feel the goose pimples when I just saw that slide. It's so empowering. Thank you so much. I only had one question. At times you said, and which is very true, that when you're reading the lines of the Murli, at times you get other messages which is not written in the black and white. And I always perceived that it is just me perceiving or just putting my own imagination, which may not be true. And then I would get a kind of a feeling that, no, that is true. But then I would say, no, this is just you and it's not written in the script. So when you are the first person who's actually written that down, that reading between the lines, could you just explain how do we understand? Is it a correctly we are interpreting or no? How did you go about it?
That's very interesting, Ben. And thanks for your kind words. I also had a great time being with all of you. And what I've felt is in this road of self-discovery, because we are going into unknown territory, right? And what I've realized over the years is everything is right. And if I'm getting a feeling, it is right. I need to trust it. Just need to trust it. If I'm getting some message that is not maybe written, but I'm feeling it, so then I need to experiment with it. And the more I experiment with it, then I would know a deeper aspect about it, maybe in a different way, or some door will open, maybe someone will come, or something will happen. A scene in the drama will teach me something. But it's important to hold on to that thought. What I've felt is holding on to that thought is so important. It's any touching from Baba, I just trust it and I hold on to it. And then on my field of practical life, I'll see how the drama starts to cooperate. And and then I will begin to have more and more trust on it and gain deeper experiences with Baba.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Om Shanti Saurabh. So my question is, you said that we have to reach our full potential on each stage. Only then we can move to the next stage. So how do I, what exactly should I do on each stage so that I can reach the full potential? Should I self-introspect, or should I talk to Baba, write letters, or should I focus on my Purusharth?
So for example, accepting, right? So it's like I just need to talk to myself. Do I accept? And it's good to be very open and let the answer no come. Because many times, like the other day, I was listening to a very senior sister, and she was saying that, one thing I've realized is I've never connected to Murli through my heart. I've always connected to Murli through my head. And just this realization is so important, that yes, I need to now tune into the heart. She said, I've always just intellectualized and looked into the points and, understood, okay, how can I share it with others? But then I've never listened to it with heart. And so the key, the crux here is to just be honest with myself and just allow this thing to appear, like acceptance. I ask myself, do I really, so I saw, do you really feel your soul? Do you accept Baba? Or are you still thinking about your job or what will happen in 2022? Or, do you really feel this is confluence age? Do you have this firm trust? So that's what. So this is like an inner dialogue I have to make. I have to ask myself questions, right? That's how I kind of go deeper and deeper. And so once I've accepted, then the Murli, the next day Murli, then I listen to that. And then Baba will say something to that. Baba will validate my inner work. Right? And then if I'm not able to understand something, then I need to also ask myself those questions. But this process has to keep on happening. It shouldn't become standstill. Otherwise, it just becomes, spiritual life becomes boring. It becomes tiring at times. And so it has to be very creative every single day. That's what I have learned. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhai.
What do you mean by creative? As every single day?
Creative is like, otherwise it gets boring, means, okay, I get up, I get ready, I listen to Murli, and then it just becomes like a normal day-to-day life. But there's no fun, there's no magic. That sense of magic, that sense of being with God, that God being my companion all the time is lost. It becomes routine. And that's where Maya can begin to enter. And that's where Maya can trick the mind. So it's so important not to let, so my relationship with the Murli is the crux of my Brahman life. And I need to keep it very, very live. And not just, okay, I read Murli or listen to Murli so that I can explain to someone else or I can share with others. No, that's fine. But that doesn't help me. The key is, how am I growing now? And that's why I used to feel that, like, how do dadis relate to Murli? Because dadis used to read Murli, so many times, you all know. But then what did they read in the Murli? It's like they're validating their experiments. They're validating in the Murli. Whatever they're experiencing, they're validating in the Murli. They're getting directions, subtle signals from the Murli, and then practicing it on the field of karma, right? So everything is through the Murli. So that's the creative part.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much, Saurabh. Yeah, it's very good experience. You have shortly and very sweetly, and you explain so many things. And really, I also experienced my sharing also. Last one week, last Sunday I think so. Manan Shakti that was there. Avyakt Murli was there. So I read that Murli, but I realized at that time, and my age is now 42 years. But I never utilize this Shakti, Manan Shakti. I never do this Manan. So I realized that this is the lacking that I have to do, and that I am experienced, that now doing experiencing, and this and I am getting so much of happiness and all this thing. So I am using and I am getting happiness. So this is a very true and a very you are very steps you have given. That also I correlate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you, appreciate it.
Brother, can you share your thoughts on churning, improve churning? How to? Baba said last week, but still practical tips.
Yeah, yes. Last Sunday Gurli was so amazing, right? Baba shared about 4 points about churning and the methods, right? राज को समझना है, फिर सेवा में से लगाना है, और स्व के प्रति, Baba said. For me, churning, I realized, is I generally tend to not do churning by myself alone. So first I'll say, okay, Baba, come. And generally I will sit in Baba's room and say, Baba, come. And Baba, you have to guide me. So that churning doesn't for me become just an intellectual process of connecting points, or, but it's more about feeling Baba through those points. So I just say, okay, Baba, come. Okay, Baba, what should we do? So it's like I'm sitting with Baba and we're discussing. So I'm discussing it with Baba. I say, okay, Baba, what do you think about this? So let's say, okay, I think this. Okay, then what do you think about? So it's like a conversation I'm having with Baba. So churning is that for me.
Okay, so Saurabh ji, should we move on to the meditation?
Sure.
Okay, so what I'd like to know, like to let everyone know is Baba has blessed Saurabh with being a very good singer. So he sings very well. Saurabh ji, meditation ke saath, how about a song?
Sure, thank you. I'll try to sing a little bit, but really appreciate Bhai for this opportunity, and I really enjoy it. It's always good to talk to Baba's children and learn from each other. Thanks for all the messages also, and I see Anuben also. So good to see you, Anuben, at least here, and love to see you back at Peace Village sometime. And Peace Village right now, but great. So let me then maybe, so this is a Lokik song, but I relate to it a lot. So let me sing that song. Is that fine, Bhai?
Yes, brother.
Okay. Can you hear the music?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है किस्मत की लकीरों से। मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। तेरी मोहब्बत से सांसें मिली, सदा रहना दिल में करीब होके। मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। तेरी चाहतों में कितना तड़पे हैं, सावन भी तुझ बिन कितने बरसे हैं। जिंदगी में मेरी सारी जो भी कमी थी, तेरे आ जाने से अब नहीं रही। सदा ही रहना तुम मेरे करीब होके, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। बाहों में तेरी अब बाबा जन्नत है, पूरी हुई मेरी हर मन्नत है। तेरी वफा का सहारा मिला है, तेरी ही वजह से अब मैं जिंदा हूँ। तेरी मोहब्बत से जरा अमीर होके, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। तेरी मोहब्बत से सांसें मिली, सदा रहना दिल में करीब होके। मिले हो तुम हमको बड़े नसीबों से, चुराया है मैंने किस्मत की लकीरों से। Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family.
Okay. This is so intoxicating. I've got goosebumps all over, and I have no words. कोई शब्द नहीं है to express the experience that I'm sure all of us are having. So thanks to Baba. Thanks to Baba to make this wonderful.
Thanks to Baba.
Thank you so much, Saurabh bhai. Wonderful to hear you sing. After a long
time. Yeah, good to hear you, Ben. We remember we had Dadi Janki, right, last couple of years back, and we were working together. It was really nice.
Yes. And always in Madhuban also I have seen
Madhuban
youth retreat, and always you have sang. And today I saw how deeply you are connected with Baba. Truly, the connection shows in your song, in your expression, and your presentation. It was so beautiful. Thank you, brother.
I appreciate your blessings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Baba. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you.
Saurabh, we'll take leave. Thank you so much
Sure.
for your time and
My
this
pleasure.
experience.
Thank you.
And this is the start. We'll have more of you now.
Absolutely.
My fortune, and please also you all also come and educate us also here in US. It's always good to combine East and West together, right? So, thank you.
All right. Okay. So
you.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Yes, we see
Om
you all tomorrow
Shanti.
again tomorrow morning
Thank
at
you,
5:30.
Bhaiji.
Thank you. Om Shanti.